This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 10/20/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander. You can see the links in the description to subscribe to the Geeklist or look at the actual list for this week. So let's get into it with the sub 10 games. So one that we've been watching is Marvel United X-Men. One thing I note is the new ratings are a little bit lower. I mean, I would kind of expect that because it's based on the same system. I think some of the novelty is probably worn off, and I do think the reviews are very positive, and I love the miniatures in this game. I kind of regret not picking it. Number 20 is the Great Wall. This game continues to do really well. It did have a week of weakness, but it's back up, climbing its way up the list. I do think this one has a really good chance of ending up in the top 100. There's a lot of Awakened Realms fans, and I think the game came together based on the reviews. I haven't personally played it, but hopefully I will at some point. Micro Macro Crime City Full House is doing well. It's a second version of it. I think it's more kid friendly based on what I read, and I do hope to try this out with my family. And Unfathomable. So this one continues to do well. I fully expect this to end up in the top 100 at some point, just because Battlestar Galactica was so popular. I think this doesn't, obviously doesn't have the Battlestar Galactica theme, which itself is quite popular or was. But I think Arkham Horror is a pretty popular theme, and it will. I think a lot of people that play Arkham Horror would also be interested in this game. And let's see. So we don't really have anything else until we get to number 10, The Crew Mission Deep Sea. So this is The Crew 2. There's a ton of reviews out for it. It's already up to rank 854. I haven't played it. I've only played The Crew. The Crew is an amazing game. Probably the only trick-taking game I actually like playing. And I fully expect this is going to be an amazing game. I think it adds some new features to it, but again, it's a limited communication game about trick-taking as a team. And I have noticed, I think it gets harder as you get more players because of that. So number 10, Crew Mission Deep Sea. Number 9, Luna Capital. So I think I saw this game. Build the first settlement to become the moon's capital. All right, this must have not been on Kickstarter. So let's see what this looks like. So it's got some weird cardboard holder thing. I like the little painted space pieces here. I mean, I'll be the first to say, I don't know. I'm never a fan of these cardboard pieces that you build. But if it keeps the price down in the game and makes it more accessible, I think that's good. These look really good. The spaceship, the moon, looks like Taxi, I don't know, and the UFO. I think the art looks good. I'm interested. This may be a Essen release. I didn't do my normal list this year of the top Essen releases. I just didn't get around to it before Essen came out. I'm hoping to do my top 10 games of the year at some point, though. Probably as we get close to the end of the year. And yeah, I think it looks okay. I'm not sure that it is lighter weight. But I think it's a good looking game. It's getting, I guess, a little bit low on the rating, so we might not see it in the future, but who knows? Sometimes, its initial rating can make a comeback. We've seen that with a few games. So that's number 9, Luna Capital. Number 8, Role Player Adventures. So this must be starting to get delivered to backers. This is another game where I thought about backing, but I decided not to. I felt like if it came to retail and it was good, I would probably pick it up there. If I was playing role player at that point. I think I've only played it once. So let's take a look at this. I do happen to own role player and all the expansions, but I haven't dove into it real deeply. One thing I always thought, and this is just my opinion, I always felt the role player dice were too generic. I wish that and maybe it was just a fact of they didn't know how well it was going to do when it first came out. I do like the artwork on the map here and the artwork on these cards. And so this one is, I guess you're going to take your adventurers on a quest. And I didn't realize this. You don't need to have role player to play this. You can pick from a pre-generated character, or you could do the full experience, which is you generate a character and then you take on a quest, which I think would be really cool. I think adding like taking your created character on a quest really adds an element to role player that was kind of missing before this. So I'm really looking forward to playing this game. I think it's probably going to do well, although I don't know if it's going to get enough ratings to end up in the top 100 yet. I don't remember how well it was backed. So that's number 8, Role Player Adventures. Number 7, Dinosaur Island, Raw and Right. So I played this game on a stream with Friday Night Games, and I thought it was good. It was a heavier weight. I mean, this is actually a heavier weight for a roll and write, and at least on the computer, which roll and writes are a little bit difficult on the computer to mark things off a lot of times. It played well. I think it needed maybe a little bit more tension between the players for this type of game. I felt like there was kind of a obvious die to take in each time. I did like this drawing aspect where you kind of drew out your pens, but you didn't actually have to be a good drawer, and you would put the stuff in it. So all that stuff was pretty cool. I would say that I think the roll and write genre is kind of dying off a little bit. I mean, we have Rolling Realms that came out, we had Dinosaur Island, Raw and Right. I think that most of the people kind of got what they wanted out of this genre, and it hasn't really continued its huge success that it had for a while. The one nice thing I do think about these games is that they're typically relatively inexpensive, and that makes them a little bit more accessible. And also, I think everyone likes a kind of a new spin on Yahtzee, which is the basis for a lot of these games. I mean, maybe it was the first roll and write. So number 7, Dinosaur Island, Raw and Right. I don't think it's likely to make the top 100. Not very many roll and writes do make it in there. But we'll see. It is getting some solid ratings to start out with. Number 6, Horrified American Monsters. So this is the second Horrified game, which is a cooperative strategy game from Ravensburger using famous monsters from the original one was from old horror movies. These ones are from, I guess, American horror movies, and I would guess that more stuff is going to come. So these have Bigfoot, Mothman, and I think it's a great price point to come into the gaming genre. I think cooperative games are really popular with a lot of people because you're not playing against other people, you're all working together, and so essentially the whole team loses or the whole team wins, which is, I think, a good experience to play with, especially with younger kids. Now this one is age 10 plus. Community says 14 plus. I don't know. I don't think it's not that complicated. I don't think. Maybe I would go with 10 plus, but I do think that maybe the scary theme of it, the horror theme, might be a little bit scarier for younger kids. Where do we think this is going to land? I think Horrified was really popular. I don't know if this makes any changes to the formula, so I can't really predict if it's going to end up in the top 100. But releasing right before Halloween is a genius move, and the fact that I think it's in stock places probably helps a little bit with that. So that's number 6, Horrified American Monsters. Number 5 is Galaxy Trucker. Now this is actually Galaxy Trucker 2nd edition. I don't know why it got its own page. I guess there were some rule changes. There's a shorter game where you don't play through the 3 things, and I think some artwork updating, but a lot of it's basically the same game that you played probably years ago with Galaxy Trucker. I like this game. It's one of my favorite real-time games because a lot of your fun is just crafting your spaceship and then just seeing if it's going to blow up. I mean, that's basically the fun of the game, is you kind of fighting with other people for the parts that you need, and you can choose to end early with maybe a quicker design, but maybe won't be as optimized for what's going to happen in the future. And of course, hilarity ensues when asteroids come and destroy your ship, and you lose half your ship in the first encounter. I think the shorter version is going to appeal to a lot of people. I always felt like the game was a little bit too long. I felt like it needed this uh, you know, quicker, get to the heart of the building is where the game shines, I think. I don't think it's going to probably end up in the top 100 because I think a lot of people that like Galaxy Trucker probably already owned it and may not buy this new edition. I would assume you could incorporate some of the rules changes easily into the old version. I know Tom Vassell had a review, and I think he said it's not really worth buying the new version if you already have the old one. But it's possible if they made a simpler edition that's quicker, maybe it'll show up in Target or Walmart on the shelves, and that might bring some new people into playing something like this. So that's number 5, Galaxy Trucker. Number 4 is Dinosaur World. So I think we talked about this one last week. It's the big Dinosaur Island 2.0 Kickstarter. I think it's going to do well. I'm still on the fence if it's going to end up in the top 100 or stay below it. It got massive backing. The reviews are, I think, pretty decent for it, and it does feel like a game with a theme that people like, with some good artwork and a solid Kickstarter behind it. So I think it has a good shot of moving up the list pretty high, even if it doesn't manage to make it in the top 100. So that's number 4, Dinosaur World. Number 3, Explorers. So I haven't seen this one. It's from Ravensburger, so this is definitely not a Kickstarter. From Phil Walker Harding at a weight of 2.0. So that's interesting. Is it a roll and write? Flip and write. So it's another flip and write. Looks really good. Although I love the name of Super Mega Happy Box, I think is the name of it. This one, the look of these sheets are really good. I'm not a huge fan of dry erase markers in roll and write because I feel like after you play it a few times, it just doesn't come off cleanly. Maybe I have to use alcohol or something to get it off, but I've always had problems with that sort of stuff. I assume if you did wear these out, though, you could probably download an app or download a printable thing. So this is interesting. Oh, you actually put the pieces in and you make your own map. That's kind of cool. I think it's got a really good look to it. It's from a accomplished designer. I'll be interested to see how this one does. Let's see how it started out. So got mid 7s, which isn't bad. It isn't great to start out with there, but being that's from Ravensburger, it's probably going to end up in Walmart and Target. It may get a lot of exposure, and being a kind of a lighter weight roll and write could appeal to a lot of people. So, number 3, Explorers. Number 2, Itoku. So I think I saw this. Become the next great spirit of the forest. Exploring and helping lost souls. Oh, I did see this on, I think it was on the Hotness for a while. So this is a crazy looking board. Like the artwork, I think maybe it's a little bit busy. Like I kind of prefer the cohesive art style of Ian O'Toole. I think it really takes the board game to make it, I don't know, easy to view and still looks really good. For this one, I think they're just looking for a forest look. I would say it looks pretty decent. I do like the card artwork a lot. Let's see here. So, hand management set collection is not my favorite, but Dice Workers, can be very interesting. So who designed this one? German P. Millen. And he has done interesting. Kingdom Defenders. So not a huge amount of games under his belt. 3.676. So this is a pretty heavyweight game. I don't know. We'll have to see this one. I feel like a lot of people on BGG have been yearning for the next great heavyweight game. I don't think Coffee Traders quite made it. Maybe this is it. It's gotten, I guess it had some fluke ratings here that were pretty low, but it's gotten some pretty good ratings now. Let's keep an eye on it and see what happens in the coming weeks. So that is Itoku. And number 1 is Clash of Decks Starter Kit. So I had never even heard of this one. Reimplements Clash of Deck. maybe this is an SN release. I'm not sure. Kickstarter. Okay. So first year, the French version. Okay. So basically, this was a French card game that they kickstarted into English, and it looks like, yeah, I don't know. It's on Board Game Arena though, so that's a great thing for Kickstarters to go and do, is to put themselves on Board Game Arena. I think you get a lot of playthrough because Board Game Arena enforces the rules, so I guess the heavy lifting doesn't have to come from the player in terms of knowing every single intricate rule for your game. And like with Carnegie, that was an amazing opportunity to play it before it came out, and I think other games should look into that. We'll have to see how it does. I'm not sure it's going to. I think it's probably not even available yet. It's probably just ratings from the Kickstarter. So we'll be waiting a while till this comes out and we can actually see how it's going to do. So this is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 10/20/21. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.